I love me.
Trasformati in Spider-Man!
È pronto! È pronto! Azione!
Intercom Mask, le maschere intercomunicanti di Spider-Man!
Uomo sabbia in arrivo! Attenzione, cerchi ghost!
Spider-Man 3 was another sort of interesting case of a 2000s threequel that was meant to be the darkest of its trilogy, much like Revenge of the Sith a few years earlier. They even did a Burger King promo that was pretty similar with the kids' meal toys with the big heads. A more brooding and darker direction for Spidey was a pretty bold and exciting move given how bright, colorful, and optimistic the first two films were. Even with Peter Parker having the absolute worst days of his life, tonally the films remained hopeful and heroic, searching for the good in even the most dire moments. Spider-Man 3 looked bleak and edgy. It looked like it was shaping up to be what many assumed would potentially act as a very dark finale.
It could be the end of Spider-Man.
Maybe not necessarily the last movie in the series, but many were expecting a close to a lot of these story arcs. With Spider-Man 2 ending with Harry discovering Peter's secret identity, I was hyped for 3 just about as soon as the credits rolled and Dashboard Confessional was telling me hope dangles on a string. I spent years dreaming of a Spider-Man 3. I knew it had to incorporate New Goblin somehow. That seemed like a given, but I think everyone, including myself, was really hoping for Venom. Like, he had to have Venom, right? He was probably the most iconic villain of Spidey's rogue gallery that we had yet to see. And if this finale was going to be an epic, dark conclusion to the trilogy, what better way to go out than your evil, big, hulking, alien goo monster doppelganger? As a kid, that 3-year wait after Spider-Man 2 felt agonizing. I went from a 7-year-old boy to a 10-year-old man. I didn't spend too much time looking up rumors or fan theories as a kid, but I do remember seeing that first poster of Spider-Man in his black suit on Wikipedia of all things back in early 2006. Even before that, Thomas Hayden Church was announced as Sandman, Kirsten Dunst accidentally spilled the beans that Topher Grace was gonna play Venom. Did IGN really have to make that the headline? Bryce Dallas Howard got cast as Gwen Stacy, and it became pretty clear Harry Osborn was going to take up the Goblin mantle. Pretty quickly from all that, everyone was wondering just how the hell were they going to fit all these villains, new characters, the symbiote suit, all in one film. There was definitely as much hype online as there was a concern that maybe this one was going for too much. Some set pics of emo Spidey leaked online that had some fans worried. There are no words. Emo. Wow, I didn't know they recast Peter Parker with some guy from Avenged 7. Does he have to look greasy too? Christ. Gay subtext. As we got closer to 3's release though, the biggest mystery to me still was Venom. Like, if you didn't go online and you just went off the trailers and commercials, you might have even missed that he was even meant to be in this movie. Any shots of him in the promos were these quick half-second cuts, some character art from the video game leaked which gave us a closer look, but it still perplexed me deeply how they were going to implement all these new villains. I couldn't wrap my head around it. But above all, I couldn't wait to sit there in the theater all snug with my Spider-Man 3 cheese nips.
Everyone wants to nab a nip. Spider-Man 3, rated PG-13, only in theaters.
Say cheers.
Nips.
Now, I've already talked about how May 2007 saw the release of the 3 threequels, Shrek 3, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, and Spider-Man 3. Each one having these gargantuan marketing campaigns and generating massive amounts of hype. This was like a cosmic event. Fittingly, a huge chunk of Spider-Man 3's marketing reflected that darker tone, choosing the black Spidey suit, letting the black alien goo take over. And what better thing to include with your new line of action figures than official Spider-Man 3 goo? Ooze, goo, it was all the rage in the 90s and early 2000s.
The slime chamber will take care of you. I've been slime.
I remember all those Harry Potter action figures used to come with a nice little bucket of him, but the thing with Spider-Man 3's toy line, as big as it was, it's become a lot more rare and expensive these days. The goo alone by itself, not even with an action figure, is gonna cost you. The Spider-Man 3 toy line has gotten insanely expensive, probably in part due to it not being carried in all stores, and mostly being phased out not long after the movie released. You had your typical things like the electronic web-spinning Spider-Man 3 blaster, real handy for shooting your load at your 10-inch pulsating goo venom. Yep, you put your black goo just in the back compartment over here, and then you just yank his arm. And yeah, he's supposed to drool goo, but it looks like he's choking to death. When it came to Spider-Man 3's merch, we'd see Venom way more there than we would in the previews or the actual movie.
But to me, the best part of the whole experience was they were scanning my body and they said, you know, this will be great because we can use this for your action figure. And I went like, Action figure. It hadn't even occurred to me.
If you wanted something even bigger and badder, there were the Spider-Man 3 13-inch walkie-talkies. That's right, they brought them back, baby, meaning each film in the Raimi trilogy got their own walkie-talkie release. A little anecdote, I remember this kid in my class brought the Green Goblin and Spidey ones to show and tell, and he'd get up real close to your face and he'd say, "I'm Spider-Man." And then next year when Spider-Man 2 was coming out, he had the Doc Ock ones now, and I was so jealous, and he'd still get up to you real close, and he'd say, "I'm Spider-Man." He also got glasses midway through the year, and he'd get up real close to your face, and he'd say, "I'm Harry Potter." I ended up actually moving away, and I never saw him again, and when Spidey 3 was coming out, I always wondered if he ended up grabbing these. I missed him a lot today. If you wanted something somehow even bigger, Thinkway Toys made these giant interactive remote control Spider-Man figures. These came with a little sensor on the front, and if you had the companion interactive James Franco and put them near each other, they're supposed to start fighting over MJ or something.
This itsy-bitsy spider will get what's coming to him. Please, Harry, come to your senses. I'm the new goblin, more deadly than my father. I'm ready to take my revenge. Please, Harry, come to your senses. Gwen is in danger. I have to save her. Your web with my bat blade. I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
But if you wanted something real interactive, there was always the Spider-Man 3 game, which released on almost everything. I already talked about and reviewed the different handheld ones. There were, of course, the premier next-gen versions on Xbox 360 and PS3. But I always thought it was so neat that Spider-Man 3 got a PS2 version, allowing you to complete the entire Raimi trilogy here. Sure, it might be the inferior, uglier 6th gen version, but still, that's really cool. But let's say you're a poor scrub with a dead uncle and an aunt who keeps taking your birthday money. Now dig on this. There was the plug-and-play symbiote suit Spider-Man 3 game. Just look at that main menu. God damn. Truth be told, this game kinda kicks ass. Where a lot of plug-and-plays will lean more into just giving you endless arcadey modes, this one feels almost like a complete game. You start off going against New Goblin in these sort of web-swinging shooter sections, then you're patrolling the city and saving citizens from personage and thugs with his 2D beat-em-up gameplay. It's simple but nice, and you can throw objects like CRT monitors and plants. There's neat little details too, like using burst water pipes and fire hydrants to damage Sandman.
Good riddance.
And then the last level even mimics the movie, with you crawling up a construction site to save MJ from Sandman and Venom. And you can hit these fire alarms to disrupt the symbiote and beat Topher Grace in the ass.
Go, Spidey, go!
Spider-Man 3 also had its fair share of Flash games. Pretty basic ones like jumping from web to web to save MJ, you know, typical. But then you got some real out-of-pocket ones like this Xavier Renegade Angel bowling screen one that's basically like one big quick time event where you gotta time your clicks, which if you miss lead to some pretty funny deaths. And would you have it, just like Revenge of the Sith, Hasbro went out of their way to release these cute Flash games featuring action figures from the toy line, where the presentation is pretty impressive. They really ramped it up. You're web crawling up a 3D building of sorts, dodging villains, you have symbiote power-ups to switch up your action figure. Also Green Goblin will just bop you on the head. There's also some more basic ones like the Nightmare of the Web Slinger, and it's just you pointing and shooting at JPEGs with all these different Hasbro Spider-Man 3 Web Blaster products. But the tone here is just so dramatic and unsettling for a Flash game for kids, like damn. Oh boy, I can't wait to play the new Flash game from our favorite friendly hero, Spider-Man.
Of all premieres is none other than the highly anticipated Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 is now in theaters, and it seems everyone wants to see it. We want you to check out this video right here. A huge crowd lining up outside the Uptown Theater last night, anxiously awaiting the midnight premiere of Spider-Man 3.
So when Spider-Man 3 finally hit theaters, I was there day one. I still vividly remember just how amazing it felt to see that opening sequence on the big screen with New Goblin attacking Peter. I remember the audience just loving the Bruce Campbell cameo and a lot of the humor, like,
"You're a good woman, I'm good man."
But also, even as a kid, it was one of the first big hyped releases I watched where partway through I started to wonder, is this kind of bad?
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
It just felt like a mess, a movie that was trying way too hard to do too much until it all snowballed into this behemoth of a finale. I remember everything with Venom especially felt super disappointing, and the Uncle Ben retcon rubbed me the wrong way at the time. All the amnesia stuff with Harry I thought was so stupid. And for a long time on the internet, Spider-Man 3 was this hated movie. It kind of became synonymous with being a major blockbuster disappointment, right next to the Star Wars prequels. Spider-Man 3 was a punchline.
Hey, wanna play Spider-Man 3?
Yeah!
Bring home all the action of Spider-Man 3!
We need to have a long talk about our feelings. Being in a relationship is hard.
It's the Spider-Man 3 Super Set!
Sacrifice a goat and sell your soul to Satan, or B, watch the movie Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3, that movie was horrible!
That movie gave me chronic diarrhea.
What a piece of crap!
You said it, Jimmy!
Spider-Man 3 fails the very second it begins. It is the worst thing ever made by a human.
It does go to one of the worst comic book films ever, in my opinion. You know, we're talking sort of like Superman 3, Daredevil kind of level. I was just, bored. Episode 1 bored.
Spider-Man 3 is kind of like looking at an impotent elephant's penis.
We hate it. Oh, and did we mention there was too much? Oh, Mary Jane.
I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive myself.
But even as disappointing as it was, I feel like most people thought, you know what, okay, whatever, you know, maybe it's not the best, but, you know, they could always rally, they could do better with Spider-Man 4.
No Spider-Man 4, you heard me right. Sony Pictures says it's decided to reboot the franchise.
Much like the prequels, Spider-Man 3 has been reappraised in recent years, largely thanks to memes, nostalgia, and just naturally being divorced from the unfathomable amounts of pre-release hype, especially following a movie like Spider-Man 2. I mean, come on. I've learned to actually appreciate it a lot more as well. It's still a mess of a movie, but just like the other Raimi films, there's just something so infectiously earnest about them. I think thematically, everything with Sandman and Peter's arc still really feels emotionally powerful. It might go a little too far in some places, but asking these characters to all look inward at the worst parts of themselves, their trauma and their pain, and to discover acceptance and forgiveness, it hits pretty hard. It's not a perfect landing at all, but that moment where Harry comes back to redeem himself and help Peter still makes me crisp. Even the ending, it's such a bold choice to close with such an optimistic trilogy on a really quiet, somber note. And unintentionally, it's become the finale to the series. And yes, don't get it twisted, I have indeed managed to finish my Spider-Man trilogy on VHS. But that's a story for another time. Remember, faithful viewer, with great power comes great cheese nips and goo.
Let's get you out of here, Buzz.
Don't you get it? You see the hat? I am Mrs. Nesbit.